Hey there, I'm Erin.
And I'm Chrissy.
And it is wine time on LTV. Cheers. Thank you for checking this out, and this is our holiday episode. So we're going to talk about holiday wines on this episode and speak to Robert Biale, who makes Zinfandel in Northern California. Please feel free to follow me at Surfing Som on Instagram.
And that's Surfing Som with two M's. I wouldn't have got that right away because sommelier has two M's, and it's a foreign word for us Americans.
All right, well, that is true. So Chrissy has quickly become my co-host here on Wine Time, and it is kind of fun to have side-by-side comparative tastings, and who better to do it with than your twin sister. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, I hope you enjoy this episode. All right, it's Wine Time at Home. I'm Erin Swain.
And I'm Chrissy Swain.
And today's episode is all about holiday wines. In the spirit of holiday gift giving, wine is always appropriate, and Chrissy and I are going to talk about some great gift ideas for your upcoming holiday and to share with other people. But before we do, we should start with some rosé. The lovely people at Sarah Jessica Parker's winery sent us the rosé, which I've never had, so very, very exciting, SJP. So she's making wine in the south of France, and she's very involved in the winemaking at this brand. She helps pick the blend, so this will be very exciting. It's her first rosé. It is the 2019 vintage from the south of France, and I believe she also makes stilettos, right? I think she has a fashion line, so it would be a very fun, cool holiday gift idea to pair a nice fancy pair of shoes and a bottle of rosé for your special someone. Girls like stilettos and rosé.
Agreed. And guys like stilettos.
they sure do. So we're going to get this open. I'm very, very excited. I get excited about any kind of rosé bottom line.
Well, rosé is the number one, Hamptons wine, right?
Yes, it is.
As of late? Or has it always been that way?
No, it kind of always has been. Rosé is just a awesome category. It's a very fun wine, and it's a really nice thing to start off. So it's always something that you can bring to someone's house and say, oh, here's a bottle of rosé. So let's cheers. Another great gift-giving idea, stemware. This stemware came from the guys at, I think it's
Ziner?
Yeah.
Am I pronouncing that correct? Because I remember it's German.
It's really
and
cool.
These glasses are beautiful.
Yeah, they're really, really pretty glasses. The nose on this wine, really, really intense, actually. I love it. Rose petal. I'm getting some
I'm not getting any of that.
Some citrus fruits, a little bit of rose petal. I'm getting a lot of citrus lemon zest and stuff in here. Well, congratulations, Miss Sarah Jessica Parker. You nailed it. This wine is beautiful, it's drinkable, it actually has body and depth on the palate, so it's a really fun wine, and that is called In Vivo, the rosé from south of France. So definitely put that on your holiday gift guide.
Love it.
Yes, another great wine gift for people is stemware and decanters. So decanters can be really elegant, they're really fun, a really nice way to allow wine to open up and enjoy. So I think a decanter would be a nice gift. I actually got you a gift, Chrissy. Merry Christmas. I got you one of my wine wetsuits.
The wine koozie. It's better than the beer koozie, folks. I didn't know we were exchanging, so I have nothing for you. But Thank you for this great little token. I will put it in my Yeti this summer for some cold white wine.
Actually, I think that's my Yeti. Cheers. So the other thing I was always going to recommend, and I have a couple bottles just here with me to show off, are a Nicolas Fouillat champagne or Veuve Clicquot. So this one is actually their rich bottle, but champagne is always a fantastic gift because people can set it down, they don't have to serve it. We've got New Year's coming up, so the champagnes are always a really nice thing to bring over to someone's house if you're looking for a good wine gift. Another wine gift that I always recommend is, if you have wine nerds in your life, wine books. So there's a few wine books that I really love. I love the Karen McNeil's Wine Bible. I'd recommend that as a gift. And there's this really cool Japanese comic book called Drops of God, and it's about wine. Wine lovers would geek out on this. You have to get the English version of it, but you read it backwards from right to left, and it's just it's really cool. It's really cool. So that one's called Drops of God. And then the other one I'd recommend probably for a wine book is Wine Folly. They do a really good job with just basic wine knowledge. Have you seen any of those books before?
No, but I knew Japanese writing was from right to left, just as a random fact.
Yes, I know. It's a really, really fun, cool thing. And then another great apparatus, which I just received from the lovely people at Coravin, is a Coravin. So actually, I'm going to highlight this. You want to drink your wine, Chrissy?
Oh, I finished it.
So
already.
this is a Coravin. Mine is in Candy Apple Red, which is very, very cute. They come in a bunch of different colors. And this product is for a real wine collector that would want to maybe sample some of their wines in their cellar. For example, they have a vertical. A vertical is years in a row, vintages in a row. So if you have like 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, and they don't skip any years, that's called a vertical. So
All right.
if you have a vertical and you want to know or do a side-by-side comparison, that is a great way to do it, is to tap into your Coravin. So this is Biale. We are going to speak to Mr. Bob Biale today on this episode about his wines in Napa Valley. And this is a Zinfandel, so we're going to use a Coravin. You just press this button and tip over.
So high tech, I love it.
I know.
I feel like a little
glasses are
science
so
geeky nerd. That's
Yeah, so this actually was started by, I think it was a surgeon. I have to look it up, but I think a surgeon started this company because he wanted to take the needle through the cork to extract the wine without removing the cork. So you can see the wine's in there, and then you can enjoy your wine keeping the cork still intact. So it's pretty cool. Chrissy, what's your favorite wine gift you've ever received?
this surfing Sam koozie. No, I honestly, it's these designer glasses.
Yeah,
I think are the smoothest, like most posh, beautiful glasses I've seen in the wine world. So I'm loving these.
Stemware does make a difference.
Yeah, when you drink different wines from different glasses, I feel like you kind of get the wine experience as a layman to the wine world. I know I enjoy drinking, different wines from different glasses, as it makes it a little more special.
Yes. Well, cheers. Let's try this Zinfandel. So that's our variety.
All right, are we doing the thing? Nose.
Yep. On the nose. What are you getting?
Oh goodness.
You want to try to pick a fruit
gracious.
and a non-fruit. That's the best thing to do when you're developing your wine vocabulary. One fruit, one non-fruit.
Cherry? Is it cherry?
You could do cherry. I would maybe go a little more specific, like black cherry. This
Okay,
is a little bit darker.
Okay, black cherry then.
Okay, black cherry it is. So black cherry, and then if you picked a non-fruit. I get like some baking spices in here. I get a little bit of clove, a little vanilla,
Oh yeah.
a little leather.
I was gonna say leather.
Oh.
That leather was my non-spice, so I'm gonna go black cherry and leather for.
Oh wow, this wine is really cool. And just so you can see what this, what the Coravin looks like when you take it out, just pull the needle right out and take them off the bottle. So your bottle's still intact, and you can see, and look, the needle's right there. So
Super cool.
very, very fun.
I've always heard about this, but I've never seen it in real life, and this is a very cool.
yeah, they're pretty neat. I love them. So that's a very fun gift idea, and we are gonna sit down and talk to Mr. Biale and see what he has to share with us about his experience in the wine world. So let's check it out. All right. Hey, Mr. Biale. Welcome. Welcome to Wine Time here in the Hamptons. We're very excited to have you.
Cool. Very cool. I've never been to the Hamptons. Happy to be there.
Sure. Really? Oh my gosh, the Hamptons are fabulous.
Right.
Not as warm as California. So I just have a few questions for you. What got you into wine?
Well, I grew up in the vineyard end of it all. My family purchased grapes vineyard here in the 30s, just by happen chance. They came from Italy and from northern Italy. And so I grew up in the vineyard end of the whole operation. And my dad was making homemade wine when I grew up. He had started, though, when he was 14 years old, 1942, and he was selling it. You're not supposed to sell it without a license or permit, right? But anyway, he was kind of a scrappy kid. And so he started selling it along with his chickens and eggs and all of that they were doing at the time. And they would call in on a party line phone system. It's public. I don't know. You probably don't. You don't know these things probably, but they would call in on this party line public phone system, and they go, "Hey Aldo, I need 3 dozen eggs and a black chicken." His code word for that jug is Zin. So I grew up with that whole thing, and his dream had always been to kind of like go legit and go real. And so in 1991 we did that. His dream became my dream. It was just kind of as simple as that, and I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the grape, and so anyway, that's how I got into it. I fell into it naturally from my father.
Well, as a sommelier, that's actually something, one of the first stories I remember telling is about the black chicken, because it's a very cool thing. So I'm glad you brought that up and stuck with that. So tell me a little bit more about the black chicken on the party line. They would call in and just sell it.
Well, yeah, in those days, he remembers that that you can press grapes off at 150 gallons a ton, and they were only selling the grapes at $25 a ton. And he told me later that even at $25, even in 1942, it wasn't making it. So he figured if he can sell that jug of wine for $1 a gallon, he'd be making $150 a ton compared to $25 a ton. And he was 14 years old and he figured that out. And I'm going, good job, Dad. I mean, he saved enough money and he saved that ranch that we still have today. So my dad was pretty scrappy. He knew how to get things done. And so that's what I really appreciate about my dad. He's no longer with us, but I mean, the guy was pretty incredible.
That is incredible. So this is the holiday episode, and I talked a little bit about why your wines are so great, but what, in your opinion, do you think makes the Biale wine line so great for gift giving?
Well, the wine in general is fairly, it's fully expressive, fully ripe and whatnot. We pick at the peak of flavor, so there's plenty going on in there. But it's also not over the top in any way. And so it has this elegance to it, and it has this mouth-watering effect because we're in the southern end of Napa Valley, and so it keeps it bright and fresh. We're only an hour from the Golden Gate Bridge, so we have this natural freshness down here, and so with holiday food, Zinfandel in particular has this spiciness, right? It's kind of natural, and I actually grew up with a lot of kind of pheasant and rabbit, believe it or not. Of course we had chickens. We had chickens come out of our ears, but my mother's from Italy. She's from near Barolo, and so that's the way she grew up. Having these natural items, and so she brought that with her, and that would be a big part of our holiday. And she knew how to make that work, and we would have my dad's wine. It was the original black chicken, not this little bit more refined version than my dad would have made. But that's how I remember it. And I know it kind of goes well with the kind of the bigger, bolder dishes that people would make these days, because they can handle it. It has that spiciness. But I prefer the rabbit. That's what I like.
Yeah. As a sommelier, I think Zinfandel is fantastic. I love recommending it like large groups, because it goes with everything. So you don't have to be obsessed with, someone's having steak, someone's having this. This is just a perfect pairing.
That's exactly right. It really is versatile. I mean, that's something that sometimes people tend to forget. And Sometimes some versions of Zinfandel maybe aren't as versatile, but I can assure people that this one, our version is, we pick it in that really nice sweet spot of the zone, and it keeps it really rather elegant. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is beautiful wine. So, what are the future projects for you and your vineyards? Anything you want to share with us?
Yeah, we got we got a new wine coming out pretty soon. It's the Morrisoli Ranch, another one of these beautiful, I don't want to say iconic ranches, but I mean, it's doggone really a special ranch up in Rutherford. And it's it's in one of those spots in Napa that people kind of covet the ground that it sits on. And so we were very, very lucky to, in this business, when a contract becomes available for a split second, if you're in the right place at the right time, and if one can afford it, you take it. And we got a call. It was because I've been in touch with Gary Morrisoli for, I don't know, 20, 25 years. Always asking him, is there any opening, any opening? And then this year, I got a text. It was, Bob, do you need some? I go, holy cow. So yes, that's an exciting thing for us. But on another note, we've started a little experiment a little south of us in the Carneros region. We planted 2.3 acres of Zinfandel. Not that Zinfandel is new to the Carneros region, but it's not widely planted by any means. And we don't have any down there. Most of ours is here in our in our Oak Knoll district and further north where it's warmer. And with things kind of warming up, we wanted to see if our profile will work in the future in Carneros. And so we have a little stake in that kind of in that thought. And so it's only 2.3 acres. We're not going to change the world, but it's enough for us to it's enough for us to determine if it will work, if it will fit in our little world of flavors.
Well,
So,
that is really exciting.
yeah, for us, I mean, we have to be thinking ahead, and so far it's really good, and so we have big hopes for the project.
All right, very cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us on Wine Time. I hope to see you out in California, maybe in 2021. Cheers.
I hope so. Come and visit. Bye, Erin. Thank you.
All right, so we just talked with Mr. Biale, and now we're gonna have his black chicken Zinfandel. So, Chrissy, what do you notice about this wine? Color?
I'm gonna say dark, like rich reds.
Yeah, and it's a garnet wine that's progressing quickly to a thin watery rim. So you always want to look at core to rim variation. That's very important when you're looking at the appearance of wine. So appearance of wine is something that you'll just...
Core to rim variation.
Yeah.
When you said that, I noticed that there is a little bit of space in mine.
Yep, so pretty much you'll turn it on the side, and it's like cracking an egg in a glass. So it'd be like a yolk in the middle, and then what happens on the rim. So white wine gets darker with age, and red wine gets lighter with age. So if you were looking at appearance of wine, that's one of the indicators of age or youthfulness.
All right.
Okay, and then also let's talk about another fascinating thing, which is the staining in the tiers. So some people used to call them legs, but
Yes.
actually in wine world we call them tiers. So what you want to do is you want to get a nice swirl and then pay attention to how...
Oh, I learned them as legs. They don't call them legs anymore?
They do not. It's
They
so
call them tiers?
sad. It's so sad. They call them tiers.
Interesting.
So the staining in the tiers, we'll talk about extraction, how long skin contact has been on, and it speaks to viscosity, which is really levels of residual sugar and alcohol. So you look if this wine is moving slow to form and slow to fall, or quick to form and quick to fall, to speak about the level of alcohol. What do you think these are?
I think they're quick to fall and quick.
I think mine are falling really slow. You see the size of my glass here?
Yeah.
See how slow that's coming down? I think that this alcohol.
Oh, okay.
So you have to give it a minute. You don't want to just do it right away. You want to let it sit and then really pay attention to those tiers. So ultimately, that's going to speak about the levels of residual sugar and the alcohol levels. And actually, we can just check it out right on the bottle because they have to print it. And this wine looks like it is. Let's find it on here. I'm guessing like 14 and a half, but this came right from the vineyard. I don't see it on here.
Well, either way, thanks for elaborating on that concept for me, because I really honestly did not kind of get the tears and the legs. I remember the legs
sweet.
term, so
Yeah, so that's like
learning,
just the
learning
visual,
and learning.
the
Love
visual
it.
appearance of wine. And then we talked about the nose. So we talked about aromas and bouquets in an earlier episode, and which come from the variety, and then which comes from vinification, or what the winemaker is doing. This nose is really pretty. I think you said black cherry before, and I would agree.
I said cherry and you made me say black.
But I'm also getting like some subdued fruit flavors of like plum or spiced plum. And I definitely get that vanilla leathery thing going on in there. And then we'll confirm on the palate. I do that to aerate the wine so I can make it more expressive in my mouth. A lot of dorky somms do that. This wine is very well balanced, beautiful wine. Very excited we got to talk with Mr. Biale today, and I hope that you have a great holiday season and join us next time on Wine Time. Cheers.
Cheers.